Everything you see around you is energy, vibrating at different frequencies. The walls, the air, your body, your thoughts, all of it is energy, organized into form by invisible patterns. But what most people forget is that this energy doesn't just exist around them. It flows through them. You are not a passive observer in this quantum universe. You are an emitter, a resonator, a conductor. Every second of every day, you are shaping reality with a frequency you've been taught to ignore. The world trains us to fix the external. Hustle, perform, achieve, rearrange the visible. But quantum science has been quietly whispering a different truth. The real power lies in the unseen, in the subtle vibration of your being. You were not designed to chase outcomes. You were designed to emit a signature so precise that reality has no choice but to respond to it. And that signature is your vibration. What is vibration? It's not just an abstract concept or a new age metaphor. It is measurable, tangible, real. At the most fundamental level, everything is energy in motion. Einstein knew this. Planck proved it. And Tesla felt it in his bones. Energy is not something you manipulate out there. It's something you become. This is the shift. Moving from trying to change your reality to realizing that you are the frequency that reality reflects. Not through willpower, not through force, through vibrational coherence, through energetic identity, through your state of being. You don't need to create a new life. You need to align with the one that's already encoded in the field, waiting for the version of you who can receive it. This is where quantum manifestation separates from the old paradigm of attraction. You're not pulling things toward you. You're tuning into the reality that's already in resonance with the energy you carry. And here's the paradox. Most people try to raise their vibration by doing more meditation, more affirmations, more journaling. But vibration doesn't respond to quantity. It responds to authenticity. What you feel when no one's watching. What you believe when your mind is silent. What you embody when you stop pretending. When you truly understand that your vibration is not what you think, but what you are, everything changes. Suddenly the struggles make sense. The delay, the confusion, the stuckness. Because your external reality has no choice but to match the broadcast you're emitting subconsciously. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are, willing to become. The journey begins not by reaching higher, but by going deeper, deeper into your awareness, deeper into your emotional patterns, deeper into your identity. The universe is not waiting for your words. It's waiting for your frequency. And that frequency is shaped by one thing only: your state of being. That's why people can do everything right and still feel misaligned. Because if your actions are coming from fear, lack, or unworthiness, that's the signal you're sending. The field is always listening, but not to your mouth, to your nervous system, to your emotional signature, to your energetic default. This is not about being perfect, it's about becoming coherent. When your thoughts, emotions, and intentions are in alignment, your field becomes magnetic. Reality bends, doors open, synchronicities multiply, and what seemed impossible begins to feel inevitable. Because it is. You just weren't in range before. This is the invitation, to stop focusing on what you want and start tuning into who you must become to match it, to stop emitting fear, to stop reinforcing the pattern of lack, to stop aligning with timelines that don't belong to your expanded self. Because the version of you who lives your dream life is not out there. It's already encoded within your frequency. And when you remember this, when you begin to feel this in your cells, the shift is already happening. The vibration has already changed. The field is already responding. Not because you forced it, but because you finally remembered. Everything is already inside you. There is a language the universe speaks fluently. And it is not English, Portuguese, or even the words of your most powerful affirmations. It is vibration, a silent, invisible code that communicates through frequency, coherence, and resonance. Most people never learn this language. They speak to the universe with words while radiating fear. They affirm abundance while vibrating scarcity. They demand alignment while being emotionally entangled in resistance. But the universe doesn't respond to what you say. It responds to what you emit. Let's go deeper. In quantum physics, everything is energy. But that energy is not random. It organizes itself in patterns based on frequency. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs carry electromagnetic charges. They form a field around your body. That field is in constant communication with the quantum field, the invisible sea of potential that surrounds us at all times. You are not separate from it. You are swimming in it. And every second, your vibration is sending out a signal. That signal either aligns with the life you desire or repels it without you even knowing. Think of a radio. If you want to hear classical music, you tune into a certain frequency. You don't chase the music. You don't force the station to play what you want. You tune. You become a match. The same principle applies to your life. When your vibration is in coherence with love, opportunities, abundance, and health, those realities become available. Not because they were far away, but because they now have a pathway to reach you. This is why two people can do the exact same thing, say the same affirmations, visualize the same outcomes, and receive completely different results. One is saying the words from a space of lack. The other is embodying the frequency of truth. The field doesn't read your mouth. It reads your coherence. The famous double-slit experiment revealed something revolutionary. Particles behave differently when observed. The observer's consciousness literally changes the outcome. This tells us something profound. Consciousness is not passive. It is active. And your inner state is a form of observation. When you observe your reality through fear, expectation, or scarcity, you collapse those probabilities. But when you observe through elevated emotion, surrender, and presence, you collapse higher timelines. This is not wishful thinking. This is physics. The energy you emit determines the data the field sends back. Every time you shift your inner frequency, you are rewriting the algorithm that generates your external experience. It's subtle, but it's constant. The universe is like a mirror, but not an ordinary one. It reflects not what's in front of it, but what's behind your eyes. Your inner world is the blueprint. The quantum field is the builder. This brings us to intention. People often confuse intention with desire, but there's a vibrational difference. Desire often comes from lack. I want this because I don't have it. Intention, when pure, comes from identity. I choose this because it is who I am. The field responds to that difference. When you move from wanting to choosing, from seeking to being, your energy becomes clear. And clear energy is magnetic. But there's one more layer: attention. Where your attention goes, energy flows. This is more than a cliche. In the quantum field, focused attention creates probability shifts. It's like shining a laser on one outcome while dimming the rest. When your attention is scattered, your energy is diluted. When your attention is coherent, your vibration becomes a frequency carrier, a transmitter that the field cannot ignore. Now let's talk about emotion. Emotions are not just reactions, they're generators. Each emotion has a frequency: shame, guilt, fear. All low, incoherent frequencies that scramble your signal. Gratitude, love, compassion. High-frequency states that stabilize your field. When your emotional body aligns with your mental focus, your vibration becomes a declaration to the universe. This is who I am, and the field responds with a matching echo. The great irony is that most people are trying to manifest their dream life from a place of internal noise. They are radiating confusion and expecting clarity, vibrating chaos and asking for peace. But manifestation isn't magic. It's physics. The universe isn't judging you. It's calibrating to you. So the question becomes, what are you really broadcasting? What frequency are you tuning into every morning when you wake up? Every night, before you sleep? Not the one you wish you had, the one you actually feel, because that is the one the field is hearing. That is the one reality is responding to. And this is why the journey of vibration is not about doing more. It's about tuning more. You are a field. You are a frequency. You are a code constantly interacting with the greater field around you. The sooner you learn to speak its language, through coherence, presence, and embodied emotion, the sooner your life begins to reflect the version of you that was always waiting to be activated. You can say all the right things. You can script the perfect affirmations, build vision boards covered in dream images, and journal your desires every morning. But if the energy behind your actions is fear, if the emotion in your body is lack, if the story in your nervous system is still wired for survival, then nothing changes. Because the quantum field doesn't respond to your wishes. It responds to your signal, and the signal never lies. This is the brutal honesty of energy work. The field mirrors coherence, not appearance. Your words may say, "I trust," but if your body is vibrating anxiety, the field registers mistrust. Your mouth may declare, "I am abundant," but if your subconscious is wired to scarcity, that is the frequency being emitted. And frequency, not language, is the currency of creation. This is where quantum manifestation confronts the illusions of performative spirituality. It's not about how well you talk the talk. It's about the signal you radiate when no one is watching. That signal is shaped by your most dominant beliefs, your emotional baseline, and the thoughts you repeat when the world goes quiet. It's shaped by the story your nervous system has memorized, not just the story your conscious mind wants to believe. Let's be clear. Your nervous system is not neutral. It remembers every trauma, every disappointment, every moment you felt unsafe, unseen, or unworthy. Those memories become electrical patterns, and those patterns become your default broadcast. Most people are not manifesting from their desires. They are manifesting from their conditioning. This is where the work begins. Not in the outer world, but in the inner terrain. You must learn to detect the incoherence, the split between what you say and what you feel, between what you want and what you vibrate, because the field picks up on that split instantly, and incoherence always scrambles the manifestation process. Here's the science. The HeartMath Institute has shown that emotional coherence, a state where your brain, heart, and body are aligned, generates a measurable electromagnetic signature. When you enter a state of gratitude, peace, or appreciation, your heart rhythm becomes harmonious. That coherence extends into the quantum field. It's like tuning a frequency that tells the universe, "Now I'm ready." Not ready to receive from desperation, but ready to receive because I've become a match. Joe Dispenza calls this coherence between intention and elevated emotion. The mind sets the target. The heart powers the signal. When those two are aligned, the field becomes responsive. But if your intention is to attract abundance, and your underlying emotion is fear of failure, your signal is jammed. You're trying to manifest with one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. This is why so many people feel stuck. Not because they're lazy, not because they're broken, but because they're emitting conflicting frequencies. And the field can only mirror what is consistent. It doesn't punish. It reflects, with precision, with neutrality, with unwavering clarity. Let's bring it down to the level of vibration. Every emotion carries a frequency. Shame and guilt are some of the lowest. They contract your field. Fear and grief oscillate in disharmony. They destabilize your coherence. Anger and frustration have more charge but still lack alignment. Love, joy, and gratitude are some of the highest. They expand your field and magnetize resonance. When you feel genuinely grateful, not as a mental trick but as a full-body experience, your field shifts. And that shift becomes a new invitation to the quantum. But here's the nuance. You can't fake coherence. You can't trick the field. The heart must feel it. The body must believe it. The mind must surrender. That's why this journey is not about forcing change. It's about becoming energetically honest, about aligning your inner truth with your outer vision. So the question becomes, are you in coherence or are you in conflict? Are your thoughts aligned with your feelings? Is your vision supported by your energy? Are your words backed by emotional truth? Because if not, the field will pick up the misalignment and reflect it with absolute accuracy. But this is not to shame you. It is to empower you. Because the moment you become aware of your incoherence, you have a choice. You can recalibrate. You can breathe differently, think differently, move differently. You can become the architect of your own signal. And when you do, everything changes. The quantum field is not distant. It is not complicated. It is listening. Always. And it doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be clear. Because the clearer your signal, the faster your reality adjusts. Not as a reward, but as a reflection. So take a moment. Tune in. What are you radiating when no one is watching? That's the true work of manifestation. Not chasing, but checking. Not affirming louder, but feeling deeper. Not controlling outcomes, but mastering input. Because the input is vibration, and the field never lies. It's one thing to understand vibration. It's another thing entirely to become its master. Most people live in a constant emotional autopilot, responding to life instead of shaping it. Their vibration is reactive, not intentional. But the moment you realize that your energy is not just a consequence of experience, but the very blueprint of it, that's when true transformation begins. That's when you stop waiting for reality to shift and start shaping it with the frequency of your own becoming. Let's demystify this. Controlling your vibration does not mean pretending to be happy. It does not mean bypassing pain or forcing yourself into a fake state of positivity. It means becoming vibrationally sovereign, aware of your energetic state, capable of redirecting it, and intentional about the frequency you emit. This is not about toxic positivity. This is about vibrational integrity. So how do you begin? The first tool is conscious breath. Your breath is not just a physiological function, it's a frequency tuner. When your breath is shallow and rushed, your nervous system signals danger. When your breath is deep, slow, and rhythmic, your body enters coherence. This is why so many ancient traditions begin with breathwork. It grounds your energy. It regulates your signal. It turns chaos into clarity. The second tool is embodied visualization. This is not just seeing an image in your mind. This is becoming the version of yourself who already lives that reality. Close your eyes and ask, how does my future self walk? Speak, think. What emotions does that version of me live in? Then just breathe it in. Feel it. Not as a hope, but as a now. The quantum field does not operate on time. It responds to identity. When you feel like your future self now, you begin to collapse timelines. The third tool is what we call energy audits. Your vibration is shaped not just by what you think, but by what surrounds you. Your environment, your habits, your digital consumption, your conversations. They all carry a charge. Start asking, is this adding to my field or draining it? Is this relationship anchoring me in fear or elevating me into alignment? You can't expand in a space that contradicts your becoming. Audit with love, but act with precision. Next, practice tracking your internal state. This means developing micro-awareness of your vibration throughout the day. Are you contracting or expanding? Reacting or choosing? Are you present or in mental simulation? Catch the dip, not to judge it, but to shift it. When you notice you're slipping into fear, don't resist it. Observe it, breathe through it, redirect the signal. And here's a powerful key: language patterns. Your words are not neutral. They carry intention. Begin to speak from the identity you're becoming. Instead of "I hope I can," try "I am choosing to." Instead of "I wish I had," try "I am aligned with." Your vocabulary becomes your vibration. The more intentional your language, the more coherent your field. Let's also talk about movement. Your body is a transmitter. When you are stagnant, your energy is stagnant. When you move with intention, dance, stretch, walk in nature, you reset your field. Movement clears emotional backlog. It loosens stagnant frequencies. It reactivates flow. Never underestimate the power of walking like your future self. The universe notices. Now, none of this works if it's mechanical. Vibration is not about routine, it's about resonance. These practices are not boxes to check. They are instruments to tune you. You must infuse them with presence, emotion, and authenticity. Otherwise, you're just going through motions without modifying the frequency. And this is where we arrive at the most profound shift. Choice. At every moment, you are either choosing a vibration aligned with your expansion or reinforcing a signal from your contraction. It doesn't matter how small the action is, brushing your teeth with intention, drinking water with gratitude, responding with calm instead of reaction. Every micro-action sends a ripple into the quantum field. You are always broadcasting. The question is, are you doing it consciously? Because when you are, reality begins to respond with precision. Synchronicities increase. Resistance dissolves. Opportunities align. Not because you chase them, but because you match them. So, here is your moment of activation. A simple, intentional declaration to anchor your frequency and affirm your power. Comment below. I am choosing my vibration. Let it be more than words. Let it be an energetic choice. Let it be a transmission from your future self to the quantum field. A signal that says, I am no longer waiting. I am now emitting. I am now aligning. Because when you take responsibility for your vibration, you stop being a victim of circumstance and become a co-creator of reality. This is not motivation. This is science. This is not wishful thinking. This is quantum calibration, and you are the instrument. There's a truth most people don't want to face, and not because it's painful, but because it's powerful. And that truth is this. You're not waiting for a new life to arrive. You're waiting to become the version of you who already lives it. All real manifestation is not about changing the world around you. It's about changing the energetic identity from which you experience the world. Because the quantum field does not respond to what you want. It responds to who you are, and yet, we've been conditioned to chase outcomes, to push, to hustle, to strive. We set goals, we build strategies, we affirm desires, but very few stop to ask, who do I need to be in order for this life to be natural for me? That's the real portal. That's where the leap begins, not in action, but in alignment. Think about it. Every version of you that has ever existed, the one who suffered, the one who triumphed, the one who dreamed, the one who doubted, all of them still echo in your field. But only the identity you embody now is being broadcast. And it is that broadcast that the quantum field responds to with unwavering precision. You cannot outmanifest your self-concept. You cannot attract abundance while secretly believing you're unworthy. You cannot experience love while vibrating fear of rejection. You cannot create freedom while living in mental chains. This is not a punishment. This is resonance. The field does not give you what you deserve. It gives you what you match. So how do you shift? It starts with permission, not from others, from yourself. Permission to become. To no longer be the person who is always trying, always almost there, always working on it. But instead to begin being, not perfectly, but fully, consistently, coherently. When you begin to act, think, speak, and feel as the version of you who already has the life you want, something shifts. Not just mentally, vibrationally. You're no longer affirming a future, you're collapsing it. Because in the quantum world, time is not linear. The moment you become vibrationally congruent with a timeline, that timeline begins to organize around you. And here lies the paradox. The less you need your manifestation to prove something, the faster it arrives. When you no longer use your dream life to fill a void, but instead become the person who would naturally experience it, the field opens. You're not trying to create something outside yourself. You're revealing something already aligned within. This is why your reality may not be changing, not because the dream is far, but because the identity hasn't shifted. Most people want a better life with the same beliefs, the same reactions, the same energy. But the quantum field doesn't negotiate. It doesn't grant wishes. It reflects coherence. Your dream life is not earned. It's tuned. So what does it look like to live this truth? It looks like embodiment. Not talking about your future self, being them. It looks like emotional alignment. Choosing elevated states not as a trick, but as a natural extension of who you are. It looks like vibrational honesty. No longer pretending, no longer bypassing, no longer seeking shortcuts, but instead becoming a living, breathing signal of the life you've already chosen. And here's the beauty. When you do this, when you stop waiting and start embodying, the universe begins to rearrange itself in response. Synchronicities appear, people shift, circumstances change, not because you manipulated them, but because you stopped sending mixed signals. This is the silent revolution. You're not becoming someone else. You're remembering the most aligned, coherent, magnetic version of you, the one who doesn't chase but allows, the one who doesn't beg but chooses, the one who doesn't try to attract but simply vibrates at the frequency of what's already theirs. So if you're still waiting, still pushing, still chasing, pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, who am I being right now? Because the field is listening, and it only responds to you. Not the mask, not the performance, but the authentic, coherent energy behind it all. Let that be your practice today. Not becoming better, but becoming aligned. Not adding more, but subtracting the noise. Not reaching forward, but coming home. Because everything you've been trying to attract is already in orbit. It's just waiting for the signal to match. And when it does, there's no resistance, no delay, no distortion. Just pure resonance, pure alignment, pure reality. If you've ever wondered where miracles come from, the answer is silence. Not the silence of absence, but the silence of presence. The kind that arises when the mind finally stops pushing and the body finally stops bracing. The kind of silence that isn't empty but full of possibility, full of frequency, full of alignment. Because in that silence, something begins to respond, not from outside you, but from within. The miracle is not the manifestation. The miracle is the moment your vibration finally aligns with who you truly are. That's the shift that changes everything. That's the space where the external world bends, not because you forced it, but because you became a coherent signal, a clean signal, a clear channel. And in that clarity, the quantum field echoes back what you already are, expanded. See, the universe doesn't require your struggle. It doesn't need you to earn, prove, or force. It only asks one thing: become the frequency of the life you are seeking. Because when you are it cannot help but find you. You don't have to chase what you already match. You don't have to search for what you already are. The greatest shift you'll ever make is the one from effort to embodiment. Not asking, how do I get it? But how do I live it now? That doesn't mean pretending. That doesn't mean bypassing your current reality. It means choosing to collapse the distance between the now and the next, between wanting and being, between the seeker and the signal. Because in truth, the gap never really existed. It was a story in your mind, a residue in your nervous system, a frequency of waiting. But now, you know too much. You've felt the resonance. You've heard the call, and you've begun the shift. Quietly, gently, powerfully. And here's what no one tells you about quantum transformation. It doesn't come with fireworks. It comes with peace, with inner clarity, with a grounded knowing that says, I no longer need to convince the world of my worth. I simply am. And in that state of being, everything rearranges. Not as a reward, but as a reflection. This is the frequency of the miracle. It's calm, it's steady, it's not performative, it's magnetic. It's the energy of someone who walks into a room and needs no validation because they are already whole. It's the vibration of someone who doesn't chase timing because they are already synchronized with divine order. It's the posture of someone who doesn't seek permission because their being is the permission. You've carried this frequency all along. It's not something you find, it's something you uncover. Beneath the conditioning, beyond the fear behind the identity you were taught to perform. And now you remember. You remember that manifestation isn't magic. It's math. It's physics. It's vibration. It's you, tuned. So here's the final invitation. Let your life become the broadcast. Let your breath become the prayer. Let your vibration become the transmission that calls reality home. No more waiting. No more pretending. No more negotiating with doubt. Just this frequency. Just this now. And if you feel this shift, if something inside you knows that the miracle has already begun, let it anchor. Let it land. Share it. Write in the comments. I am aligned with the frequency of my new reality. Not as a sentence, as a signal. Let your words become the vibration that speaks louder than fear. And if this journey stirred something in you, if it reminded you of who you are and what you came here to create, you're already part of this field, this channel, this frequency. Subscribe, not just for content, but to continue expanding your resonance with a community that is remembering. 2. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're becoming. You're broadcasting. You're building timelines with the quality of your presence. And in that frequency, the miracle is no longer someday. It's now. Everything you need is already inside you. The rest? Just a reflection.